Cardinals fans, are you ready for the daily dosage of getting your BTA? Because here we go. The Indianapolis Colts are up next on the schedule, and after losing a game to the Tennessee Titans, the worst team in the NFL, my confidence is about as tanked as you can get. I am not ready for this. I am not ready for the game. I don't want to watch this. But, as a Cardinals fan, as someone who posts for the team, I'm going to. I'm going to be forced with my eyes wide open just watching this game. And it's not going to be a fun one. If I'm being transparent with you guys, I fully expect us to get clapped. So we'll see what happens. My expectations are at the absolute bottom of the barrel. So we can only go up from here. And let's see how this transpires. Let me just go ahead and tell you guys why I have zero confidence in this team and why I think the Colts are going to put BTA. So before we do that, though, drop your comments. How are you feeling going into this game? Cardinals fans, Colts fans, drop your predictions as well. I'm going to be just diving into the game, showing you guys why I have no confidence. But if the Cardinals are to pull out a win, I'm going to show you guys how I think that is possible. And, we have a slim chance, just like the Titans had a slim chance. We had a chance to go up 28-6 and just walk away. There's no way we lose this game based on this picture, but we did. So, hey, let's dive into it, and let's just go ahead and talk about our minimal chances here. Well, first things first, the Colts, who we are playing at home, by the way, are undefeated. 3-0, and they are just absolutely ridiculous because they have 163 points scored this season. Second team in their division who has the exact same record almost has 40 points less and 11 points more given up. This team is dangerous. The Colts are absolutely disgusting. They have been everything as advertised. That 4-1 record, they are one of the best teams in the NFL right now through 5 games. Will that keep up? Who knows? But Daniel Jones and this team are playing out of their minds. And yeah, I'm scared because their defense is everything as advertised. That Texans defense is legit. I kind of figured they were going to be, but this is terrifying because the Colts offense is levels ahead of that Texans team. So we are in for one. And I'm not looking forward to this because we get to play them at home where they're currently undefeated. Colts fans are going crazy. This Colts team is insane. And I'm not looking forward to playing Danny Dimes and friends. So we'll see what happens. But I did predict Daniel Jones to be the starter. Listen to this. This was predicted way before the season. Am I crazy to think that Daniel Jones might be the Colts starter by the end of the year? Because Anthony Richardson already doesn't have the back from the Colts front office. The Colts staff, Colts fans are already kind of turning their back, and then they just signed Daniel Jones. And I feel like Daniel Jones is the better quarterback of the bunch. They're going to give the nod to Anthony Richardson, but am I crazy to think that this signing of Daniel Jones is actually going to be something long-term? I feel like he's going to take over. You guys let me know if I'm crazy. Colts fans, drop your opinions down below, but I think it's very possible, and I think it's going to happen. So yeah, props to me for that one. I feel good about that. Before we get BT8 on Sunday, I feel good at least knowing that I have some ball knowledge, or I could predict that. Makes me feel pretty good. And I also tweeted this out September 6th, which I believe was before the season, if I'm not mistaken, like right before week 1. You guys can do the timeline due diligence. But I said, I'm feeling a Danny Dimes good year. I don't know why. I think he could thrive with the Colts and Jonathan Taylor for some weird reason. This could backfire, but F it. And I have been absolutely right. We'll dive into his stats in just a second, but he has looked transcendent. This is a contract year, if I'm not mistaken, too. So, of course, every player tends to ball out in a contract year. Probably why I made that prediction. But Danny Dimes has been everything as advertised. Like, look at this. Through 5 games, he's only taken 4 sacks. When you protect a quarterback in the NFL, shockingly enough, they end up being pretty well. The Cardinals should probably take some notes and do the same thing for Kyler Murray. And instead of blowing it up like a lot of us want to do, just continue to build the offensive line. And maybe we'll be in a good spot. Who knows? But Danny Dimes is passing for 71.3% completion. He is dicing almost 1,300 yards. He's 10 under through 5 games. He is going to have one of the best years. He is probably top 5 in MVP candidacy. And yeah, he is looking great. 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 258 yards per game. This team is thriving with Daniel Jones back there. And I am terrified because the Giants set this man up for failure. He's incredibly smart. I didn't even think he was a good quarterback. He had fumbling issues. He was just not good in New York, and he was never going to thrive there. So every time Daniel Jones lined up under center for the Giants, I was very confident that we were going to pull off a win. So Daniel Jones was awful there, but the mind has always been there, apparently, through NFL GMs, scouts, people who've talked to him in the building. Malik Neighbors didn't even believe he was the issue. So it led me to believe that maybe it was just a New York thing, because we kind of saw what Saquon did. I always knew Saquon's talent was there. I wanted him in Arizona so bad, but you just take someone off of the Giants and out of MetLife and things end up going pretty well for you. So Daniel Jones is a very talented quarterback and someone who can do it on the ground and through the air. And he's doing it through the air this year. And it's scary because the Colts don't stop there. Let's talk about some of the most obvious things in the world. This team runs through one man. That is Jonathan Taylor. It opens a lot when Jonathan Taylor is going. 6 touchdowns. Absolutely terrifying. 5.1 yards per carry. The Cardinals defense has looked pretty good though. And typically we gas out towards the end. So maybe I think the defense does have a chance. This is going to be the biggest test. I think our defense can hold. It just depends how our offense performs, which has not performed at all. So that's very fun. 94 carries though for 480 yards, almost 500 through 5 games. That's almost 100 yards a game. He is going berserk. And Jonathan Taylor behind this offensive line, he's doing pretty well. The Colts O-line is very underrated, and they've only allowed 4 sacks. It speaks volumes, man. I'm not looking forward to this game. I think Jonathan Taylor is going to probably have a really solid outing, probably over 70 yards, and I'm very concerned. But the Cardinals defense, I feel like, is going very under the radar. Cardinals fans are kind of disrespecting it. I think if you watch games, you kind of understand this is not their fault. It's our offense's fault. It's not really Kyler's fault. It's not Trey McBride's fault. It's not Marvin Harrison. It's the bad play calling, the situational awareness, and the conservativeness. Cardinals have to be better. And until we are, we're just going to be stuck in this loophole where we're scoring 21 points a game and just stopping there. And instead of actually being able to go for it, we just continue to struggle. The defense, I think, will be fine, and we'll put up a good test against this well-loaded Colts team, but we're definitely in for one. And just looking at them overall, like, we could talk about defense and how well they've performed as well. They've given up less than 100 points through 5 weeks. They're on par with that Texans defense, who's just been transcendent, but their offense is just loaded as well. Tyler Warren has been exceptional for a rookie tight end, probably a top 10 tight end in the league just coming into it. I knew he was going to be good. I know it's a lot of I know, but, you know, I've been wrong on a ton of stuff. I said that Trey Lance was going to develop into a good quarterback, and we saw what happened there. Was very wrong about that. But Tyler Warren, I feel like, was one of those hits that was just a guarantee, and the Bears have blessed the Colts in this instance. 307 yards and a touchdown through 5 games is ridiculous. Pittman has been amazing as well. One of the most disrespected receivers in the NFL. 4 touchdowns, 273 yards, almost 300 through 5 games. Ridiculous. And it's a committee receiver room. Adonde Mitchell, 137 yards. He's had his struggles this season, but 130 yards. Alec Pierce, 171, and Josh Downs, 175 as well. It's a committee receiver room, and that's not a bad thing. And Jonathan Taylor is just Jonathan Taylor. This is my fantasy stud, by the way. 16 receptions, 133 yards, and a touchdown. A lot of people disrespected Jonathan Taylor coming into this year. I was not one of those people. A lot of people were letting him fall into the second round, and that is the easiest. Just give me. He is the Colts offense. Give me that. Appreciate you guys for, if you guys are playing fantasy with me, appreciate you for letting me have Jonathan Taylor, because I have him in 3 leagues. Blessed. But this Colts offense is ridiculous. And if the Cardinals want a chance in this, it starts with stopping them. And I think we have a good opportunity to do so. But the Colts are not sorry. They've beaten some decent teams, and they've also beaten some bad teams. They've lost to a really good team, but they've just poured it on against people like Miami. In the beginning of the season was terrible, 33-8. They're actually putting BTA like they're supposed to do. Tennessee, they poured on 40. Cardinals are supposed to do the same thing, and we did not. They gave up 20. Denver is a really tough matchup, and this is one of those games that they actually beat a really good opponent, 29-28. Geno Smith sucks, 40-6, but they're actually doing what they're supposed to do, which has me to believe that they can do it against good teams as well, because they already did it against Denver. And the Rams, they were ultra competitive and a couple drops away from actually making that game a W. So I'm not really like in the boat where I think the Cardinals have the best opportunity to win, but if we do, this is how we're going to have to do it. Let's start with this bald man right here, and that is Drew Petzing. He has been nothing but awful this season. The Cardinals have not scored a lot of points so far. Let me actually go ahead and pull it up, and I'll give you guys exact numbers because it's been awful. But we can't score. Even against bad teams, we're not pouring it on just like the Colts are. The Cardinals so far, we scored 27 against Carolina. Barely enough to beat them. We beat them by 5. The Saints, we only put up 20. We beat them by 7. 49ers scored 15 points. Seattle scored 20. And then the Tennessee Titans, we put up 21. If that doesn't scream embarrassing, I don't know what does. We have the offensive weapons, Kyler Murray, Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr. And, like, I understand. I really do that sometimes in the NFL, just because you have talent doesn't mean you can't be good. But I've seen the flashes. I understand we can be a good offense if we push the ball downfield. We can't really run it right now. You have to be creative, and Drew Petzing just has none of that in him. He's from Cleveland. That's where he was last. We should understand that he was poverty. But no, Cardinals took a chance. Jonathan Gannon is obsessed with him. I don't understand. And we'll just pray that he gets it together. This is a game you don't really have a choice. And for some reason, Jonathan Gannon has backed this man. And we are just in the spot where we're kind of just riding this thing out. And if he's not getting fired, I don't know if he ever will. So, Drew, get it together, please, for the love of me, because you have to. And as much as I do believe in Kyler Murray, he has to elevate this team even higher, because the lack of play calling, it's hard to get things going. It's a lot of dink and dunks. You have to take what's given to you underneath, and there's nothing really developing. And I saw something per Theo Mackey. Let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. But Marvin Harrison Jr., you guys know I've been saying this, and I kind of get flamed for it just because, I'm this 24-year-old who might not have the best ball knowledge. I might not be an in-depth, big in-depth analysis kind of guy. It's just like, I'm not going to break down film for you guys and just act like I know what I'm talking about 100%. I have a very general idea, and obviously my ball knowledge is solid, but I'm not going to be able to break it down like Kurt Warner. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a former NFL quarterback, but I am not completely brain dead, believe it or not. You kind of understand what you see, and the Cardinals, they're kind of dumb. Drew Petzing, you would think he drafted a guy with the number 4 overall pick, and you would utilize him. You know what we haven't done? We haven't actually utilized him. We'll use him for a quarter and then just kind of let him fall off. And it's not really a Kyler Murray thing. He does have to elevate the talent around him. And sometimes I feel like I wish he could just audible out or just call the plays, because I think Drew Petzing is very incompetent. But at some point, you just got to be better. Let's go ahead and pull this thing up real quick just for you guys. This is crazy. This is per Theo Mackey. You guys know how I said Marvin Harrison's not an early progression, and he's not somebody who gets developed into the offense. Well, look at this. Per fantasy points data, Marv was a first read just once on 15 pass plays after the first quarter. We're very good at utilizing him one time. After that scripted offense goes out the window, the first 2-3 drives, it just goes to absolute S. And this just proves it. Jonathan Gannon is not pleased with Marv's lack of targets down the stretch. Got to keep getting the ball to our playmakers. Well, Jonathan, at some point, go ahead and rip your offensive coordinator. You did it with Amari. Rip your offensive coordinator. I don't know what this connection is, but rip him. Marvin Harrison has to get the ball. It's not a Marvin Harrison problem. It really is not. The talent is there, but until you learn to get the playmaker to 18 and 85 consistently and routinely, we're going to struggle. Your running backs out of the flats shouldn't be leading you in targets at all. That should not be a thing. Get Marvin the ball, get Trey McBride the ball. We'll be in a spot to win this game. But until then, I'm not confident. It sounds so obvious. It really does. Just get 18 and 85 the ball. We'll be in a good spot. We can't really run the football this season. We are one of the worst in terms of running the football. And you're not going to win games when the Cardinals are just absolute dog water at running the ball. We came in here actually trying to run the football. But let me go ahead and pull this graph up for you guys too, because this gets even better. The Cardinals are just absolutely abysmal. And this is us trying to run the football. A team that was supposed to thrive and be able to play smash mouth. We lost James Conner, I get that, but the O-line has been awful. Team rushing EPA and success rate. You see where the Cardinals are? Terrible. At the absolute bottom. We are a bottom 5 running team in the league with the Raiders, Bears, and the Patriots. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. We're at the bottom of this freaking graph. We can't do it. We can't do it. And this is scrambles out of it. So Kyler, you take him out in the scrambles. We're just awful. We can't run the ball. I don't know, man. This offense is just catered to lose us games. But the defense is good, and I think if we are going to be competitive, it's because the defense holds the Colts to under 24 points. Is that very realistic? I don't know. I think it could be a lot more competitive than people are giving us credit for. But getting a win is something that I'm not confident in. Give me the Colts 27-24. I think they're going to win by 3, and we're going to continue to lose games very closely, but the offense is not going to be able to pour it on, and we're going to lose in dramatic fashion and drop 4 straight, potentially on another game-winning field goal. You guys let me know how you guys feel about this down in the comment section below, but with that being said, that's going to wrap it up. If you guys did enjoy, consider hitting that subscribe button. I post Arizona Cardinals and NFL content. If you're a fan of either of those, perfect channel for you. With that being said, though, man, that is all I got for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. It's been your boy Mythic. Peace out. Come on, Cardinals, don't disappoint us.